All right, this, my friend, is not just any sort of notebook, journal, piece of paper. This is the soul, the story, the foundation of what makes an authentic personal brand. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I managed to build up my personal brand to 15,000 followers in just 5 months while staying authentic, uniquely me, creative, and not all having to over strategize. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you why you should be using a journal to build your personal brand. So let's get right into it. Okay, going down into the problem with how most creators try to build up their personal brand when they're just starting out. So a lot of times when you see creators posting content consistently on their platforms, right, like Instagram, they will try to give a lot of value because that's what they've been told to give just by all the top personal brands. Like give value because that's all that matters, but they don't tell you what forms that value comes in. They think value is just sharing informational content such as tips, tactics, generic advice, systems, and really basic generic stuff. At that point, their whole personal brand just becomes very informational and surface level, and it starts to feel like a dictionary. The thing with becoming a dictionary personal brand is that dictionaries are useful, but when was the last time you ever really used a dictionary? You don't remember because it's useful, but people do not come back to it. It's not something you are loyal to. Yes, you might look at it a few times and just throw it off and you never remember, because the last time I know I used a dictionary was maybe half a decade ago. So there you go. Whereas if you look at fictional books or Netflix, you come back to those things because there's story, there's emotional value, and you're attached to the characters, the narratives, and therefore it brings you back. You're loyal to that thing. And when you just share very informational, educational content all the time, and the keyword is all the time, your personal brands becomes very transactional and people can really feel it because every time you're trying to give something to gain something back. And at that point, you are just transferring data from A to B. And the thing is, when you start to become like a dictionary, people don't follow dictionaries, people follow people. But here's the shift. Your brand is made out of journals. Every piece of content you post should be coming out of your journal, because when you think of your journal, it comes with raw emotions, raw thoughts, raw clarity, just ideas, sketches, and just planning over time on a daily basis, weekly basis, on a monthly basis. So whatever you write in your journal, that should be a piece of content, because at that point, you will never run out of content ideas. That's the truth, because every single day you're going through something unique. You're learning something unique. You're making new mistakes every single day. You have different thoughts every single day. You might feel different on that day. So anything you write in that journal, it may be a line, a paragraph, or a sketch, that is your content, because your journal reflects who you are becoming, who were you before, and who you're going to be in the future. It is the reality. Your journal is the reality. Therefore, when you start to treat your whole personal brand canvas, your each post, they're just a page or a line that's coming out of your journal. That's it. And that's what authentic personal branding is. So things like your thoughts, your learnings, your failures, your wins, your results, the mistakes, everything that you write in the piece of journal, the way you're feeling. Are you feeling unmotivated? Are you feeling inspired on a some day? You just writing down a single word or a line, sentence, that is the content that you put out. When it really comes out of your journal, it's authentic because it's really your reality, the thoughts you're going through. It's you, it comes within you. You're not copying it from someone else. It's literally you reflecting on the world, what's happening inside your head, and you're just writing it down on a piece of paper inside of this beautiful journal that you are going to share with the world. And it's really authentic. It becomes valuable because people relate to people who share similar stories that gone through. Value can come in all sorts of ways: informational, entertainment, relatability. There's so much different sorts of values. And when you start to treat your personal brand like a journal, you're not performing content, you're not trying to create new content ideas, you're just translating your reality, your raw life, what you're living into a format that people can watch. So you're turning a piece of text into a beautiful crafted video format in this medium of video, right? Where you have music, captions, aesthetics, styles that's packaged into a beautiful video where it can do more than just words, where people can feel the emotions and stuff, like from the music you put out in the video when you're talking and you put a music behind, and the caption styles, the aesthetics, the color grading. People can feel it. It evokes a certain emotion. Just like when you're dreaming, you see all sorts of beautiful things. And that's what authentic personal branding is. You're evoking emotions. You're relating to that person, because let's say on a day basis, I'm trying to find a job in my career and I'm struck. So I'm going to be writing that down, all the struggles I'm going through. When was this? Was it X months ago? Was it last year? Or was it right now? And when I share a piece of content that talks about this exact thing I'm going through, imagine the millions of people that relate to me. Millions of people that might be in their 20s trying to find their next big career jump. Think of it like that. It's authentic, because that's what you're really going through. And at this point, you don't need to come out with more content ideas. Just document your life. And when people say document, they never explain it. When you think of document, you think of people like Daniel Dalen. Oh, just vlog your life, Casey Neistat. No. It doesn't have to be like that. It can just be in a format of talking head like this. I'm just sharing my stories, what I'm learning, what I'm going through. This is documenting, because these are the things I've learned in the last 2 years of building a personal brand, learning content, marketing, right? So essentially, all of this came out of this book too, this whole video idea. And in the personal branding terms, the personal keyword actually means your personality, your story, your journey, and who you are becoming, who you were before, who you are today, and what are your goals, all of those things. And if you're not personal in the personal brand, then it's not really a personal brand anymore. It's just a page with empty followers. So you have to be able to be vulnerable, share the personal side too. It doesn't mean you need to be sharing every single thing. Oh, I did this at 1 p.m. today. Oh, my family did this. You don't need to share everything, but you need to be able to share, at least to some extent, that you need to be able to be vulnerable. You know, if you're going through a downturn in your life, doesn't necessarily mean you need to share every single intricate detail, but you can be brief about it. The more specific you are, the more relatable it is, because people can watch the content and they'll be like, wow, oh my God, what Sam said just hit me so deep, and it's like so accurate. And I can pull up some screenshots of comments, people relating to the things I share, because I literally say the things that's authentic to me, that's what I'm going through, and they can relate to the exact thing I'm going through. Quick pause into the video. If you guys are genuinely interested in getting my help, my coaching to help you build your personal brand up and get better at content, I have opened up the waitlist for my one-to-one coaching, where I'll be helping directly through video calls, weekly basis, making you be a better creator and helping you build your personal brand. So yeah, just click the first link in the description below, and I'll probably send you an email in the next few months. I'm not sure when I'll open it, but the waitlist is open. On to the next part. Why treating a personal brand like a journal actually works. You know, oftentimes when we come onto social media, we don't want to just look at more informational content. We want to be able to relate. Okay, when I see someone very aspirational, they're creator driven, they're trying to build their own business, they're a founder, and when I see that piece of content, I like it because I can relate to it, because I am becoming that person. For example, when you're listening to Drake or Kanye West, when you listen to their music, they talk about going from A to Z, from broke to rich, whatever it is. You relate to that content more because you relate to the messaging of the music, not just the music, but the actual words. And you like that artist just because you can relate to that persona. So when I hear Kanye West's old songs, I relate to it because I am in the upcoming phase, right? And the thing with social media and personal branding, people don't want to just learn. Yes, it's cool, we need to learn, but you also want to be felt seen. You want to be able to feel like you've been noticed in some sort of sort. So if you say something that you're going through and other people can watch it, they'll feel very noticed. And soon as they see that, they will fall in love with you. They will love you. They love your content. They will watch you, follow you, and build this cult like audience. And I'm still kind of figuring that out too, because life is always a learning step. There's never an end to learning. Just because I have 15,000 followers and I build this personal brand doesn't mean I stop learning. So going back to the philosophy of dictionary and how all the beginner creators or entrepreneurs building personal brands treat it like it's not good, because dictionary just tells them what it is. A journal tells them the what, the why, the how. When there's a why backed behind the what, your content becomes way more valuable, stronger, and has more depth and substance, right? I'm not just learning what it is. I'm learning why I need to learn that thing. I'm not just sharing you how to blow up your personal brand. I'm sharing you the why. The why is the journal and why I do it and what it's allowed me to. So it's the same principle I'm following that I am sharing. Journal makes people feel less alone, and in this day and age we need a tight community. It's not about being viral, having tons of millions of followers. It's about having a group of tight network that support each other and pave the movement. It's like a cult. Having that journal like personal brand, you start to build this deep connection with every single one of your followers that see your content, and that's what builds loyal audiences. It's not just about views. You can see creators with millions of views but have no engagement, and I see a lot nowadays. People have hundreds to thousands of followers, but they've made such a pivot and they just lack the depth, and their content is falling, and it's really bad. It's not something you want to see. So for me, my philosophy is slow growth is always better than fast growth. Moving on to the next part. This is the practical side. So how to actually do this. The key with being consistent, it all comes down to how often you note down on your journal. As someone who doesn't journal as often as people make it seem on social media or the internet, people are like, oh, you need to journal every single day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and before bed. I'm not that person, because when I do that, it feels like I'm just doing the journaling to journal. Does that make sense? Whereas I like to do it in the beginning of the week or the end of the week. So twice a week at least. So I would either do it on Monday and Sunday. So Monday, I would set on, okay, this is what I want to achieve this week. This is what I want, like a general direction, a theme in my life, in my business, in my personal brand and content. Okay, these are the things I want to do. It's not a to-do list. I might have few targets I want to do, but like things that's gonna move me forward the most, I'm gonna write those down. So general direction. It's not about being very nitty and gritty specific all the time. Yes, you can be. I do that sometimes. At the beginning of the week on Mondays, I like to set the direction, the tone of what I want to achieve in that week. Then at the end of the week on Sundays, I usually just reflect on what I've achieved, what I've done, and how I've kind of done in that process. And I repeat that again next week. So Monday, just kind of reflect a little bit and set the tone again. You might be wondering, okay, what do you do between Tuesdays to Saturdays then? On those days, there's no like strict, oh, I gotta write. If my journal is next to me or I'm near it and a fresh idea comes, I'll straight away write it down, sketch it. Let me just pull some. So there's a lot of stuff. I don't know if you can see it. It's just like sketches to, it's just a lot of mess. I know my handwriting is so bad, but yeah. And throughout Tuesdays to Saturdays, I'll just kind of freestyle it. If idea comes, I'll write it down, I'll sketch, and just kind of jot down my feelings, thoughts, what I'm going through, what I'm learning. It's not strict. Sometimes I'll just have a random idea. I'll pull out my Apple Notes and put it on there. Then I'll maybe put it on here. But for me, what works the most is Mondays and Sundays, just at least beginning and end of the week. Because at least when you do that, you're not forcing yourself, but it's just happening in smooth flow. You're progressing in life and you're just kind of flowing through it in the journal. And you come out with multiple stuff that you can make content about. But if you're starting out, maybe do it every day, just because it gets in the habit of producing content too. Because every single day you're going to be learning something new. You're going to be going through something new. Write it down, post it. Literally, is that simple. And the thing is, write it down on a piece of paper, like a physical journal notebook, not on a keyboard, Notion doc, Apple Notes. It should come here, just because there's something about writing with a physical pen on a physical paper. The creativity you get, the less frictionless experience is so nice. Whereas on a keyboard, some people might not be good with the typing on keyboard and there's friction to it. Whereas with the handwriting, you can just do whatever. You can sketch, you can flip pages and just kind of be messy as well. It really allows you to translate everything that's in your head into this piece of paper, into this journal. And it's also really less distracting when you're in an empty room or you're just on the commute. You can literally just pull this out, write it. You're not scrolling through social media or going through different tabs, opening your email, opening YouTube, opening different apps while you're trying to note something down. So yeah, it also distraction free when you really write it down on your journal. And yeah, the main thing to take away is you will never run out of content ideas just because you are really documenting your actual reality. It's a reflection of who you are, what are you doing, who you are becoming, and who were you before. It's really just documenting you as a person, and that's what personal branding is. It's not about going viral, it's not about becoming this influencer, it's just documenting your reality, and people get to see different phases, seasons of who you were 6 months ago. Now 9 months later, this is you person now. All the goals you said you were going to do 6 months before and you've achieved it 9 months later, people get to see that. You get to see it. It's really a reflection of your reality, and that's my philosophy of personal branding. Is just treating it like a journal. So yeah, guys, you do not need a content calendar. You do not need this massive content strategy, viral hooks, gimmicks. You just need to write down in your journal, translate this piece of journal into a video format, right? So starting this week, just write down at least twice, start of the week and at the end of the week, and share those thoughts that you have, the things you're learning, the things you're going through. Then when you do write that down, you can ask yourself, could this be a video? Could this be some sort of conversation I could have with a person? If the answer is yes, then you should absolutely share it, because at the end of the day, your story is the strategy, and just document it. All right, guys, if you did make it till the end of the video, you are a freaking legend. You are gonna build one hell of a authentic personal brand. So I really want to thank you guys for making it all the way through the end and watching the video. If you did enjoy this, if you did find it valuable, if you did resonate with it, please leave a comment of what you thought of it and what you want to see next, and like the video, and always don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.